We've been exploring some Zombicide Invader core tactica. And one of the things that I wanted to push out, independent of the mission, this is a checklist item to try and keep in mind as we're making our way through the base and navigating airlocks and dealing with things. This is true of every Zombicide game, but especially Invader, because one of the unique features of Invader is this idea that you're inside a building where ballistic weapons work. As soon as you move it to the outside, you need oxygen tanks. There's this buffer where now those weapons don't work. You've got to go hand to hand, combat to combat, human being or Xeno to Xeno. Secondly to that, you can't fire from the outside airlock, outside planet zones inside. So this differs from, say, something like Black Plague or Modern, where you have these based on the maps, the mission designs, which are excellent, by the way, fantastic. You can't always effectively fire into certain areas without moving into those areas. And of course, if you move into those areas, you could be moving away from your objective. So that's kind of the first key point. The second point is the use of mold as spawn zones. And we're going to put aside for a moment some of the other abominations that are out there from the Kickstarter and other packs. We're just looking at the core right now. There is this idea in most missions where there will be one or two spawn points on opposite sides of the map and maybe one or two mold zones already starting out in the complex, representing some sort of infection. So you start on one side of the complex and you're going to be searching. You're going to be trying to gear up. And then as you move from one side of the complex to the other side to complete your mission goals, maybe it's to pick up some survivors, maybe it's to access some prototype weapons, but you're making your way through from one point of the game board to the opposite side. And again, we see this in Black Plague and Modern. The challenge to navigate is as the zombie horde or the Xeno horde, Invader horde, grows, eventually you're going to be cut off and not really even jacked up and juiced up, effectively able to chew through that many models. What I love about the Zombicide series is you lay out all the zombies. I lay them out by classification ahead of time to the left, where we've got the cards and we've got kind of the dice. And someone new to the game looks and is like, wow, look at all these miniatures. Are we really going to utilize them? And it's like, yes, by mid-game, and even if you have the Kickstarter exclusives, that's going to pile on more zombies. By mid-game, all this stuff's going to be out on the table. It's going to be crazy. I mean, the stress level in a good way is going to be crazy. So what that means is if I'm on one side of the complex and I have to make it to the other side, I need to do that, not only as fast and as efficiently as possible while picking up gear in certain rooms along the way, but at the same time, being able to navigate and take out some of those spawn points potentially along the way so that when I'm in that middle band outside the airlock zone or I'm on the other side of the board and now things have slowed down, as zombies, Xenos invaders, spawn on the other side, those spawn points are cut down a little bit. They've been thinned a little bit. So it's not this massive horde coming at me. The challenge in Invader is the mold. When you spawn an abomination in the core, as it moves, it creates new mold zones. This kind of simulates in Black Plague the Necromancer tactica. Yes, if two lines connect of the mold based on the spawn, the base is overrun, you lose. That could happen, but it's happened once or twice. What happens that's even worse is within that spawn deck, there are cards that are like, hunters, tanks, seekers, workers, spawn on a mold point. So if I'm on the other side of the complex or I'm past the airlock and I don't want to go back because I can't spend action points, even if I have some extra action points, I can't spend them, move back a space or two, shoot, move. Like, no, I need to be moving towards the mission objective. I need to move from one side to the other. What this now means is that if I've spawned 1 or 2 abominations. We're mid-game, but I've took the abominations out, maybe with the sniper rifle, or they got close enough. There could be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 active mold points. I pull out that mold spawn card, spawn, a tank on every mold. I just spawned 8 tanks. I just spawned, all those tanks on the mold, plus the spawn points themselves, pushing out cards. That's how you get overwhelmed so fast in the game. That's how just these miniatures just flood the table. So early on, when there's not a lot of stuff on the table and I've got enough space to move, that's where I'm looking along the way. Can I close down some of those mold points? Can I shut down some of those mold points? Can I throw up some doors? Can I activate some doors and throw them up and at least maybe buy a turn or 2 as they move? That, in my mind, the layer over the mission, and adapt it a little bit for the mission, is a key skill to master for Invader.